we on? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. And welcome to the first live breakfast class with myself and all of you out there. We're going to make Eggs Benedict today, which is one of my favorite breakfasts in here in the morning. So today we have our pan for the poached eggs, we have our pan for our bacon, and our pan to make our hollandaise sauce. And so as you can see over here for the poached eggs, we have water, and it's not at a full boil. It's at a simmer, and you don't want it to be boiling too much because you don't want to rock the boat too much. You don't want the eggs to roll all over the place. The other thing that you want to always add to your water for your poached eggs is a little vinegar, because the acid in vinegar will help bring the egg whites together right away, so that when you put your eggs in, it won't spread all over the place. So we're going to just drop a little bit, about a tablespoon is all you want to do, just to create some acidity in the water, and we can maybe spin it around a little bit just to get it moving in there. Now we're going to work on our hollandaise sauce. And so we have a pan, and you want to work with low heat, very low heat. You do not want to cook your eggs. It's a warm sauce, not a hot sauce. If you cook your eggs, it's going to become scrambled hollandaise sauce. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to start off with some lemon. We've got half a lemon here, and we're going to squeeze some lemon juice right away. You can hear it sizzling in the pan because I started the pan early. Okay, so we're going to get that going, and what that's doing is seasoning the pan a little bit, and we're going to let that sit for a second and cool off. We're also going to then take a pinch of cayenne pepper, and we're going to put that right in there, just a little pinch. We don't want too much. We don't want a spicy sauce. We just want the lemon, the acidity in the lemon, besides flavoring it, the acidity in the lemon and the pepper will also help bring the sauce together. You want the sauce to come together and become a nice thick sauce. So we're going to do that. All right, so as you can see, I've got it off of our burner. And so now I've got my 4 egg yolks. So I've separated them out before we went on the air. And I've got my 4 egg yolks. And we're going to drop them in the pan. But we're going to make sure our pan isn't too hot first, because as you saw, we were sizzling earlier. And it seems okay. I'm going to put a little more lemon juice in there just to cool it down a little more. All right. And we've got to make sure we get that seed out of there. All right. We don't want a seed in there. Okay. So now we're going to drop our egg yolks into the pan. Okay. And put that in the sink. We get our whisk, and we're going to whisk that around. All right. And get that all nice and going. And now we're going to add a little butter. Now you're going to start off, this is by the way, 1 cup of butter. I know everybody's freaking out on me right now, but you know me, I love butter and salt. So we have 1 cup of butter, and we're going to just start off by putting a tiny little bit, maybe like a teaspoon of butter in there. And we're going to whisk that. All right? And again, you want to go on and off of the heat so that you don't get too hot. Now we'll add just another teaspoon of butter, and whisk that around. All right, and you want to get it all in there, okay, and then we're going to add another teaspoon of butter, and we're going to keep doing it teaspoon by teaspoon until we get to about 1/3 of the butter gone, and then we can slowly start streaming it into the sauce. So, all right, I'm going to leave that for 1 second, because now we're going to take our eggs while we're waiting, and we're going to put one of our eggs into the water. So we're going to crack it, and the best way to do it is to put it into a little dish if you've got one. All right, and this way, when you put it into the water, you can actually place it right into the water, just like that. I don't know if you can see it on there, but so as you can see, the vinegar, what the vinegar did is it made sure that the egg whites did not go out into all over the place. So that's working. So while that's cooking, we're going to keep going with our sauce. So we're going to put a little bit more butter in there, whisk, and a little more butter. And again, you want to keep whisking the butter in until it's gone. You don't want to be able to see it. All right, so it's starting to come together, but you want to go a little bit more. So we'll get a little more butter in there. And again, you don't want to, now, my sauce is getting a little thick as we cook it. So what we want to do is you want to have nearby you a little bit of water. So you can always add a little water. And so just literally just a tad of water will help loosen that back up again for us. You don't want to dump too much water in. All right, and we're going to add a little bit more butter. Okay. All right, and now it's starting to come together. So we're going to start drizzling more and more butter into our, all right, get that going, as you can see. And there's our poached egg still doing its thing over there in the water. Okay. Now it's at a point where we can really start to, we've done about a third, so we can start streaming it in a little bit more. All right. Meanwhile, let's drop in the Canadian bacon. So, you know, before we went on the air, we were questioning, so this bacon is Canadian. But was it born in Canada? Is it legal to make here in the States? We'll have to ask Mr. Trump what the case is on our Canadian bacon here. So we're going to let that sizzle. All right. Am I getting any questions? Anybody writing anything to me while we're on the air?
We have a lot of people joining.
Oh, that's great. You guys, you can write a question to me and I'll answer it live when we're talking. And if you have any questions, type it in. So we're going, now we're really putting our sauce together, and I'm really starting to stream the butter in. And it's getting a little thick again, so I'm going to add a little more water. There we go, just a little bit. You don't want to do much. All right, just to loosen it back up again while we get the butter in there. And let's take it off the heat for a second. Okay. Yeah, let me just throw a little butter in. I'll show you guys what it's looking like. All right.
How many eggs can you do at once with the vinegar trick?
Oh, well, you could do as many as you can fit in the pan. That's it. I'm only doing one right now for the show, but normally if I'm having people over, you know, I'm going to do, if I usually do 2 eggs per person, so it would be probably, you know, we're going to do at some point 8 eggs, but I could probably fit 4 or 5 in there.
We thought maybe we need a customs expert on the bacon issue.
Oh yes, let's. We need to find that out. We need to find out what's going on. But I thought.
How long on the eggs?
How long on the eggs? How you don't want to go too crazy. You don't want to overcook your yolk. And if you can see what I'm doing right now, is I'm kind of throwing a little bit of the hot water on top of the eggs. That'll help the white part off. But you want to make it so that the yolk isn't firm, because most people that like it like a nice little bit of a runny egg. So you don't want it too firm, but you also don't want it too loose either. You want it to make sure it's kind of cooked. But you want to make sure your white is completely cooked. That's the key. So I'm looking at it, and we're almost done with that. I'm going to throw a little more hot water on top of it. There we go. And I got to flip my Canadian bacon. One side is U.S. and one side is Canadian, I guess. And there we go. All right. And we're almost done with our butter going in. Gonna get the rest of it in. All right, and you can see it looking quite nice. Can you get a good close-up on that? Good. All right. So now we want to find out how it's doing. These seem to be done, so we'll take these off for right now. And it looks like our poached egg is just about done too. Everything's coming together beautiful. All right, so now what you want to do is you want to taste it and make sure that your sauce is the way you want it. So you want to give yourself a little taste of it. See what it's like. So it doesn't have any salt in it yet, and you do want to add a little salt. And I noticed it needs a little bit more lemon, so I'm going to take a little bit more lemon. And the reason I'm putting my hand over this is so that the seeds don't get into it, because I want a nice lemony sauce. So we're going to add a lemon to it. We're going to take a pinch of salt, add a little salt to it, and pepper. And I'm going to do white pepper. And the reason you want to do white pepper is that you want your sauce to look pretty. You don't want it to have little black specks all over it. So we're going to add a little pepper to it and mix that in. All right. We can take another taste and see how it's going.
Can the hollandaise sauce be made ahead?
Yes, the hollandaise sauce can be made ahead. And what you want to do is keep it, if you can, put it in a double boiler. That's pretty good. A double boiler, and keep it warm. And what will happen is the sauce, you're going to need to stir the sauce once in a while, and you're going to need to give it a little bit of water. It gets thirsty. Believe it or not, it gets thirsty. And you'll know because your sauce will start to kind of sweat on top. The butter starts to sweat a little bit. So just by adding a tiny bit of water to it, that's all you need really is a drop or two. You can bring it together, right back together. So we've got that. We're ready to go. All right. Now we're going to look at our egg. Our egg looks awesome. Okay. And we're going to put our egg right on there. And let's take that off. Okay. Let's get another spoon for our. Oh, I forgot something, you guys. I forgot that we got to put our Canadian bacon on first. So let's take that right off for a second. And as you can see, it fits really, really nicely on there. So we'll take our Cruise Canadian bacon and our egg. We'll put that right there like that. Get a little spoon of our sauce. And we're ready to eat. And then if you want, we can get some strawberries. I think I've got strawberries over here somewhere to put on the side to make it look pretty. There we go. And we've got our champagne and our Eggs Benedict, and we're ready to eat. Any questions? No? Well, enjoy. I hope you guys have a great brunch. This is the ingredients that you're going to need for your recipe, and I hope that you enjoy breakfast as much as we're all going to enjoy today, having our champagne and Eggs Benedict. Thank you for being part of my first broadcast. We'll do some more stuff down the road, and cheers.